What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and we're here today with Kevin Oleary, Mr. Wonderful, along with Ben Samaroo, CEO of WonderFi. How are you guys doing today?
Great, thank you.
Yeah, so today we're talking all about your exciting new IPO called WonderFi in the DeFi or decentralized finance space. So Ben, can you start us off with a brief introduction of WonderFi and what the company looks to achieve?
Sure. So the mission with WonderFi is creating better access to decentralized finance or DeFi. And we do that three ways. One is through our app, and that's really the core focus. Our founding team has been building in the crypto and blockchain space for going on 5 years now. And so we're building an app that just simplifies DeFi, makes it easy to use, and makes it simple. And I think for anybody that's used DeFi before or kind of played around in the space, it's overwhelming, it's complex, and your average person just can't access it in a meaningful way. So that's really, the core focus is the product. We also hold DeFi assets on our balance sheet and generate yield from them, from some of them. And so the thinking there really is, you've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of the assets that power lending and decentralized exchanges that are really kind of the core of the ecosystem. And so we hold those on our balance sheet in a meaningful way, provide our stakeholders with access to those assets in a compliant way. There's lots of institutions that want access to DeFi, and so through WonderFi stock that that gives them exposure to that. And then the third sort of category that we're focused on is around strategic consolidation. So in the crypto space, we're really ready for consolidation. We've started to see some activity this year, but around whether it's centralized exchanges or payment processors or wallets, there's a lot of opportunity for consolidation, and we're in an extremely good position to do that. With our management team, our kind of strategic investors, and then what our unfair advantage basically is the millions of followers that Kevin and Josh Richards have across many different audiences, demographics, and so I think what you see in the consumer finance space is you have there's a lot of competition. People are spending a huge amount of money on marketing, and so for us, the unfair advantage and the unique thing that we have is we have these people that are really bought into our mission and really can drive down customer acquisition costs. So it creates really unique consolidation opportunities for us. And so that's kind of the third bracket that we're focused on with WonderFi. So really looking at the company, it's a proxy for the DeFi space.
Very exciting. So Kevin, what was your mindset behind investing in WonderFi specifically, and why do you see so much potential in this company?
I have been increasing my allocation to crypto assets for about 2 years now. Beginning of this year, it was at 3%. It's on its way to 7%. That's our target for year end. And I've done a lot of work in the more institutional size companies, things like Circle and FTX. But I've got millions of followers on social media that are very interested in at least learning more about crypto, and yet I don't have any compliance platform that they can use. Because one of the big problems that people don't realize about investing in crypto is that you have to report your gains and losses and your income. It's no different than any other financial asset, and the entire crypto space is not set up for that. The whole idea of decentralized finance and centralized finance and crypto assets themselves, tokens, coins, Bitcoin, whatever, was very Wild West in the beginning. And so the idea that it was regulated or provided tax compliance reporting was nowhere in the equation. And now that it's becoming, more of something of interest to people, this is a huge problem. One of the reasons that basically no institutions invest in crypto is there's no financial compliance infrastructure. When you buy a stock or a bond, you get immediate mark-to-market valuation by the second in your internal controls. And then, of course, your external auditors can check on you on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis, and then they can sign off on audits that get reported to the regulator. That doesn't exist here. And so we're very, very nascent. We're very, very early. And I wanted to be an investor in all the different pillars. And so from the consumer side of crypto, I thought WonderFi was a great idea because I think you get three things as an investor. Number one, you get, on our balance sheet, our crypto assets. So you're getting some exposure to things you've never owned before. Number two is we have a proprietary app we're developing that makes it easy for everybody to use crypto and all the different uses and be compliant. And number three, I think it's a great acquisition vehicle because, one thing I bring to the table is I can help companies reduce customer acquisition costs because I have so many different social media followers. So does Josh Richards, another strategic investor. We have millions of followers. Mm-hmm. So we'd like to find other assets that we think would make sense for WonderFi to own and buy them and help those shareholders reduce their customer acquisition costs. So there's method to our strategy that I think is long-term.
Definitely. I love the potential. So now, Ben, DeFi is a relatively new sector. We don't see many publicly traded companies in this space. How should investors look at this company versus others in the crypto space? What sets you guys apart?
So I would say, yeah, there aren't any publicly traded DeFi companies that, that have, a consumer facing product and basically a product or technology. I think there's some options out there that are more essentially kind of holding companies, or they make passive investments in different protocols or opportunities in the space, which I think is important for the space as well. So that's good to see. But I think what WonderFi really offers is high growth through the product. Like that's actually contributing to moving the space forward, because again, we're focused on accessibility. We want to onboard 1 million people into DeFi by the end of next year, and it's a really ambitious goal, but that's what we want to do. And we have the pieces have fallen into place already in the short period of time that we've been working on this that can enable us to do that. So we're super excited about that, and I think that consumer finance app piece, it's really what sets us apart, and then also creates all of these consolidation opportunities where we can. So for example, with our app, we're integrated with some payment processors that allow people to get onboarded into the app from their credit card or from their bank account in a seamless way. But that's an opportunity that's sort of left on the table for us right now when we're at this stage. But again, the consolidation strategy allows us to look at the space end to end and really try and step forward and kind of consolidate and bring it all under one umbrella. So we're really excited about that timing and kind of the opportunity that we have here.
Definitely, and I'm excited to cover the story. So Kevin, looking forward, what are the main catalysts that you see propelling the sector, and more specifically WonderFi, forward?
It's out of need. Let me explain my own situation that got me into crypto in the first place, particularly in DeFi. I reduced my operating company portfolio in commercial real estate from 31% down to 8%, generated a lot of cash in the sale of those assets, went back to the cash markets that I traditionally have used to manage cash positions, and they're paying 20 basis points. Now, the inflation is 2.1%. That's a huge problem, because I'm basically losing close to 2% of value every 12 months. And so we started to look at alternatives, and we found the idea of using stable coins and loaning them out and garnering 3.5% to 5% yields on 30, 60, 90-day contracts. And so in order for me to do that, it took me months to set up the compliance infrastructure. The minute you go to your internal compliance department and say, I'm going to do something different, the answer is no. And I went to see my auditors, and they said, no, we're not doing that, because they've never seen it before. There's no infrastructure at all. So it took me a long time to get that set up. And I thought, during the process, my daughter called me and said, look, I've got $14,000 in my bank account and I want to invest it. How do I do that for interest? Because I'm making nothing. And that was at the same time I met Ben and his team. And the whole idea of WonderFi is to give you that compliance platform that lets you invest it maybe loan out 30, 60, 90-day contracts very simply, get the platform to do this for you. And then the most important thing is, do you get a 1099? Do you get the reporting you need if you're a user in the US or in Canada or wherever you are for capital gains and interest? You have to have that information come up, April 1st for your taxes. So that's what we're trying to solve for there. And that's why I became an investor. And I feel, when I look at my own social media base, which is very inquisitive about everything to do with crypto, this is a great solution for them.
Definitely. So now, Kevin, you're well known as Mr. Wonderful. Are you now going to be known as Mr. WonderFi?
Well, I have to be frank and transparent with you. I ripped this idea off from Richard Branson. He calls all the companies that he's involved with Virgin this and Virgin that. Well, I'm doing the same thing. It's just a complete rip off. But I really like it because a lot of people know Mr. Wonderful out there, and WonderFi falls into one of those portfolio companies that I'm proud to be an investor in. And let's see what happens.
Definitely will.
I'll just say, Kevin, Aaron's a friend, so you can show him the WonderFi tattoo if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of WonderFi swag. I used it all up in the last 2 days, so it's in the washing machine right now.
Well, I can't wait for my t-shirts, but anyways, guys, it was a pleasure, and I look forward to covering the company. Kevin, Ben, I look forward to it. So thank you so much for coming on the channel, and best of luck.
Thank you very much.
If you like these videos, kindly hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. Drop us a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. And finally, always remember, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell a stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell a stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you're making your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. Furthermore, this video may or may not have been sponsored by the companies that we've profiled within this video, and we may or may not own shares of any of the profiled companies in this video. If you want to know the full disclosure details, check the description down below, along with thoroughly reading our disclaimer. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.